So, so I think that a bunch of the I'm gonna go over here. So I think that a bunch of the cars that are being made, like if you look at the car that's on the if you look at the car that's on the story that says something about the Maverick on today on Google. If you just look at that picture, it looks like to me what is going on or has happened is GM, Jeep, or it's Ford and Jeep, and GM is in on this too. But it could just be that's a Ford. So then there's GM General Motors, they could have parts on there, and then Ford, they could have parts on there. But it looks like there's a big combination of just molds, and that's how they have made the car part from, or like the car. They've assembled a bunch of different molds, and they put it together. And I'm all about, I know about merging when two car companies are merging, but this has been this is going on even from AGS. I think I told myself GM and Chrysler merged because if you work on Chrysler parts, there's GM parts involved in this, and I want to say there's a possibility that it's not right. It's not supposed to be like this, and that someone is deliberately making a mistake on purpose because someone can do that, or it's that there's a miscommunication between two people, or there's a what was it? There's a design problem, or someone is trying to have this work. Like a design, there could be a design problem, meaning that someone said we're going to design a car using all of these parts, but to me it just looks like when you look at this car, it looks like a bunch of different parts, and it didn't look good at all. So, personally, there's a lot of for me, there's a big problem of the quality alert. The Tesla Model 3 has been trying to, or has been in production since, I believe, 2018. It might have been 2017, and the mirror is still not being produced correctly. I'm waiting on a paper to see what the correct, how it's correctly supposed to be put together, because there's always a picture on how that's supposed to be, how it's supposed to be looked, what it's supposed to look like. There's a model, I guess I could say that word. There's a model they give you of how they want it done, and that's not being wired correctly right now. But I'm listening, and I just haven't, done what I'm going to do. I have to get around to it. I'm sore. But I'm going to keep trying. As a whole, if that one car is produced that way, to me that just looks terrible, because I can see the differences, and there's a bunch of gaps in the actual body of the car. If someone wants a car to look like that, then that's not my decision to say, no, a car can't look like that. But I wouldn't buy it. So yeah, I'm dealing with alcoholics in my life, or people who are actively drinking, and I smell it on their breath. I'm dealing with being told no, and I'm dealing with seeing something that is in my face that looks correct, because I believe I've worked on these mirrors before, or if they're not the actual Tesla mirrors, they are a mold that is used similar to Tesla. And then this comes down to like just doubting myself, what I see, and at some point I have to grab onto something and I have to say, okay, that is what is needed done. But there's no paper to compare, because that could be wrong. Now, do I think specifically that this mirror that I'm looking at is wrongly wired in front of me? No, I don't. But I think there's a lack of knowledge when it comes to what is flash, and with someone I work with, and there's a lack of and that's including quality. That's I put those two together, and there's leniency on quality right now, even if it's a less than millimeter scratch. But sometimes I listen, because I'm not my name isn't, I'm not under a quality department. I don't have a department saying you are a quality control worker. I don't have a badge saying you are a manager. So all of that matters about what I talk about, and the way I'm facing this right now is I have to remember that people do drink with, well, not with me, but, well, yeah, with me, but they drink, and when they are drinking, I'm not going to continue to push something, push my answer onto someone who is intoxicated, because at any point in the day, at any time of the day, I can get punched out, because when someone is intoxicated, to me, their mind, their body, their emotions, their feelings, their words are not how someone coming from a sober mindset is. There's no similarities. And to me, I can say the person who is drinking could be angry, could sound angry, is very, could be spiteful, could be annoyed, could be dominating, could be aggressive, and I stay quiet about it, because I can look at them, or I can look at that person, or I can look at they and see how they are acting, and what they are and what they are doing, and being talked about and personally talked about. That's really off the subject of what I am trying to say. I have people talking about me, that's what the subject matter is between, someone and I. You're talking about me, but you are not concerned about a car part that needs to be produced. And that's where I have to go talk to somebody else. And there's a point in my mind which says, okay, this is what you have to do, okay? But I don't always want to have to talk to this person, and I shouldn't have to talk to this person. If there's a no tolerance policy at a workplace like there is mine, then that no tolerance for alcohol and drug policy should be, I guess I'll use the word, backed up every day. If you smell alcohol on somebody, you should remove them from the premises. And so now it's like that hasn't been done, and it needs to be done, because now the conversation comes back to me, about me, and this is not why I'm working. This is not. I don't go to work to stand next to somebody to talk about my personal life, or to even hear myself as a human being talked about. Like I'm called or I'm addressed as the word, and I'll spell it out, Nigga. Um, I'm looked at as, the facial expression says to me, what are you going to do? Do you really think you are doing that? What are you doing? And that's just to explain better, that's a dominating look coming from a person saying, to me, this is how I see it, I'm in a different position than you. I'm a supervisor. I'm a line leader. I'm not going to allow this, or how dare you say what you are going to do, or how dare you. But again, alcohol is involved. And when alcohol is involved, that's a complete substance on top of how a human being is talking. It's two substances. It's human, which is blood, and it's alcohol, which is part beer. So it's very dangerous. It's extremely dangerous. There's no security guards at my place of employment, and there's already almost been fights, and I've already been threatened, but all I can do is be prepared to defend myself. And I can accept that this is life today, but I really hope that at some point this no tolerance policy for alcohol and drugs is actually, I don't know the word right now, but I'm supposed to use, but I hope the people who are drinking at the place that I work are removed from this building, because these car parts, and this is summing it all up because my body's doing that, they're not being produced correctly. And wherever they are going, these people are literally having to redo the wiring, or they do not know how they are supposed to be wired, or they're throwing them away, or they're going to have to send them back, or both, or they're going to have to send them back and say, we don't understand what we're supposed to do with these. I was going to say and. They're going to have to send them back. And the Tesla Model 3 is not being produced correctly. There's a company, they're like 1,500 parts behind, and I believe a whole lot of money was given, like loaned out from the plastic, and I think the plastic injection families told Tesla and Chrysler and Stellantis that their machines can produce this part. And I believe that Stellantis and Chrysler, gave them a lot of money, like a front, basically, but it's like a loan. I'll say a loan, not gangster talk front, but just the words mean the same thing sometimes. Or those two things can be similar. So I think that a loan was given out, and now it's like there's not even 1,500 parts that have been produced correctly, but all of that money was given to these families. And that's the seriousness of this, because I don't even know how many numbers are needed, but if Stellantis needs 220, it's more than 100,000 parts. That's what I read, but it's on the negative side. I kind of, what's in my head is it came up to like negative 200, and this is low, 100,000 parts. That's what needs produced. So if that's not produced, I I think that needs to be happening. And it does. Because that's literally making a loan with somebody. that's making a loan with somebody, and it's like Stellantis gave all of this money, and they're saying that the parts can be produced. And so it's like, okay, you traded all that money, Stellantis did, and then they're waiting for their parts, because to me, the way I'm explaining this to you is the parts are money. So it's the parts are money. So having the parts be produced correctly is how the loan is being paid off. And right now, they're not wired correctly. So it's dangerous. It's business. It's a business, or it's a business. It's a loan. Like if you watch a movie where if you give a guy $5 and you say, or $500,000, and you say you're going to pay him back on Wednesday, you better pay him back or he's going to start hurting you. And I think that this is the level, or this is where this is at here. So, yeah. But I'll be there Monday trying to work out parts, but some people don't want to talk to. Bye.